So I'm officially in the third trimester. I'm 28 and a half weeks. The doctor called this morning and said that I failed the 1 hour glucose test, so now I have to go tomorrow to the lab and do the 3 hour one. I'm just walking around the neighborhood to try to clear my head because I'm upset about it. That's not really working because I'm sitting here talking to my phone about it. It's just stressing me out. I just feel like I've dealt with every negative or hard pregnancy symptom during this pregnancy. I just feel like I can't handle anymore. Like I just need a break. So I'm just hoping this is something I don't also have to deal with. So we shall see. Just trying to get ready for work, and my doctor just called and said that the results for the 3 hour glucose test came back abnormal as well. So now I have to go see a nutritionist and a specialist and deal with all that. Hopefully I don't have to take insulin. I don't want to do that at all. This really sucks. I've now been sitting on my bedroom floor crying for 20 minutes. It seems ridiculous that you would cry over something that's just kind of like not something you can necessarily control until you have to. But I don't know. It's not like, I know I joked before about like the food and everything, and yeah, that sucks, like to change your diet and to not eat stuff that you want, especially when you're pregnant and craving stuff. But it's like, I just didn't want to have to deal with like another thing, you know, like woe is me, big deal. Like I'm just sick of all the negative symptoms. Like it already just takes a toll on your body and your mind and your emotions and everything else, and it's just like, how much more like can you put yourself through? Like it's like a lot for one person to handle physically and mentally. I mean, I hope I look back at these videos and think like it wasn't that bad. Like, I don't know why you're so upset. So, update about the gestational diabetes thing. Went to the nutritionist. She said that my numbers weren't astronomical and everything should be able to be controlled with diet and exercise, but I still have to prick 4 times a day. I don't remember if I've talked about this before, but so now I've been doing it for a week now exactly, and it's been it was very stressful at first. It's very confusing now because my numbers are very low, sometimes super low, which were very confusing, considering they were so worried about, you know, them being high during that sugar test, which I just think is the stupidest test in the world, and I don't think it actually tells you accurately what they need to know. So I could get into that, but whatever. So yeah, so I've been watching what I'm eating, and my numbers are just still low, and then there's other times where I splurge and have stuff that I know might send my numbers up, and they're exactly the same, they're still low. So I don't really understand it, but I'm just gonna keep going and deal with it and hope that I'm doing enough and doing the right things, that he's still gonna be healthy. And yeah, heading to my 31-week appointment. RC is already there. I'm running a little late. I'm not 100% sure what they're checking today, but I know that we'll talk about the gestational diabetes thing, because I haven't seen my doctor since they diagnosed me with that. And don't worry, I'm looking at the road. So we'll talk to her about that, and then hopefully, I'm really hoping they do an ultrasound today, because my last ultrasound is when they told me that I had a certain amount of like fluid in there, and after doing like some research, it totally freaked me out, the amount of fluid that I had, and like things that could go wrong from having that much fluid, or almost being to the point that having too much. So yeah, so I'm hoping that they do an ultrasound, but we'll see. I'm not really sure honestly what is going on today, so that's that. Okay, so at my 31-week appointment, what was I saying? It was just gonna be a regular checkup. We just went over questions that I had on my list of things to talk to her about. We went over the diabetes stuff briefly. She had spoken to my nutritionist, and they were both happy with how the numbers were looking, but it didn't really like change anything. They were just like, okay, so just, you know, keep going, doing what you're doing, which is what I assumed she would say. And then because my fluid measured 24.5, my amniotic fluid, the normal scale is between 5 and 25. That was at my 28-week appointment. It measured that. I requested to do an ultrasound during my 31-week appointment so that we could check the fluid, because it was stressing me out. So they did an ultrasound, and the fluid came back at 22.75. So it went down, which is a good thing. Didn't go down a lot, but better than nothing. However, they did say that he was weighing at 4 pounds 11 ounces, which is massive. On my app, my silly baby app, it says like he should be weighing like 3.5 or something like that. So everyone's trying to reassure me that ultrasounds are not that reliable when it comes to measuring their size, but it's just really scary. So I'm just concerned about that. I don't prefer to have a C-section, so if he's too big, that's the option, and I don't really want to do that. So we'll see. I'm not gonna cry. I'm just saying that's what's going on. Yeah. So what's today? Today's the 16th. I go on the 23rd to the specialist, and he's gonna do a level 2 ultrasound, and it's just going to be a more in-depth, more accurate ultrasound. He'll check on the fluid, he'll check on Luca and see how he's doing. Hopefully we can get a better idea of what he's weighing and what size he is, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm just kind of freaking out a little bit trying to get everything done because I feel like he's gonna come early and we're not gonna be totally prepared around the house and whatnot, so it's crunch time. Okay, so it's been 3 weeks since I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. Yes, I still cry about it sometimes. It's not enjoyable. It's stressful. It's, not just changing your diet, but it's also testing your blood, and it's worrying about, his health and his size and his heart and if that's all working. And so that kind of stuff is, that outweighs the testing my blood sugar every, 4 times a day. I can deal with that. It's just worrying about him and if he's going to be okay. So we go and see the specialist in a few days, and hopefully they will give me some peace of mind, because I'm just a big ball of stress about it. And people can say whatever they want about how I should just calm down and everything's gonna be fine, but you just never know. And my body, feels one thing and people tell me another, so there's not much you can do or say to change someone's emotions and how they feel. And so at the end of the day, my main concern is Luca and making sure that he's healthy and that he is growing and stays in there long enough to finish growing and developing. And so just thinking about you, kid. We'll see how everything goes. I will keep you updated.